This week, the Trump administration released a modified version of its Muslim ban turned travel ban, and it added a couple of countries to the list, including Chad, which is interesting. I looked and I said, why do they add Chad? It turns out that Boko Haram. He managed to find some Muslims inside Chad, but notice he didn't put Nigeria on there, where Boko Haram actually is from. And that kind of gives you some insight into how these things are constructed and what the politics of them are. If you look at the most curious change to the list, you'll notice that one country fell off of the list, and that would be Sudan. How did that happen? The Sudanese don't have any pull here in Washington, D.C. It's not like they have some massive lobbying force. The head of the country is currently considered a war criminal, and the ICC is trying to arrest him. So how did they manage to get enough influence with the Trump administration to get themselves off this list? It's not like they kind of fundamentally changed the nature of the country in order to earn their way off the list. And it turns out that it's our old friend Yusuf al-Otaiba, who we've talked about a couple of times here on these segments. He's the ambassador from the United Arab Emirates. Extraordinarily powerful guy. Right now, the Saudi Arabia and the UAE are waging a war with the assistance of the United States on Yemen. Now, both the Saudis and the Emiratis are extremely wealthy countries. These are not the kinds of countries that want to put kind of their own citizens at risk. The Emiratis did have some boots on the ground for a while in Yemen, and 45 of their soldiers were killed in a single day, which is the most in their country's history. It was their version of 9/11. It is impossible to kind of overstate the impact that those 45 casualties had back in the UAE. It was calling the entire kind of adventurous, hyper-aggressive foreign policy that the UAE has been waging into question. And so the UAE and Saudi needed to go out and find foot soldiers somewhere for this war in Yemen. A war, by the way, that has killed tens of thousands of Yemenis and has led to a cholera outbreak and mass starvation on a scale that makes it the greatest tragedy so far of the 21st century. So they needed foot soldiers to help carry out this atrocity. So what did they do? They went to Sudan. The Sudanese agreed to put in thousands of their soldiers to fight on the ground and to go after the Houthis in Yemen. And exchange, the UAE would kind of take them under their diplomatic wing and lobby for them here around Washington to try to get them the things that they want. And what does any country want? It wants to be off of Trump's travel ban. Otaiba, speaking to his good friend Jared Kushner, helps to make the case. So what you have is a weaponizing of the Muslim ban by a Muslim country to use it against another Muslim country. It is a very predictable yet shocking result that even before the Supreme Court has weighed in on whether or not it's constitutional, it's already becoming a bargaining chip to kind of wage war over in the Middle East.